Good morning, everybody. It's time for your Farm and Ranch News. And again, we're producing another program from this year's Montana and Wyoming Barley and Sugar Beet Symposium here in Billings, Montana, where one of this year's symposium participants was a farmer from Ballantyne, Montana, and our friend Dan Swartz, a longtime farming family from this part of the world. And Dan, talk about the importance of this symposium from a grower's perspective, hearing all these speakers and all these different issues this week.
Well, it's very important. Yesterday, it focused on barley and nutrition, or the fertility of barley and diseases, and today's the sugar beet side. So that's very interesting to me. Always been a pretty faithful sugar beet grower, and we're going to get into fertility and the Roundup Ready issue that faces everyone here today, and different diseases in the beets. And Luther Marquardt's going to be on at 10:30, and that's going to be everyone's interest, I'm sure.
Now, Dan, you do raise a whole host of different irrigated crops as part of your family's farming operation. Malt barley for Miller Coors. You probably throw in some corn, I would imagine. And, of course, as you said, sugar beets. Talk about the importance of having a solid crop rotation like that.
Well, it's important for all the crops. The rotation, it cuts the disease cycle, and it spreads your risk a little bit more. Yep. If you have all the crops. I have hay and corn and, of course, the malt barley. I have cattle, so you spread your risks out. You hope you can hit the high spot of one of them, but prices are all good this year. Very positive.
Yeah, well, thanks for taking time with us for this morning and talking a little bit about your family farming operation east of Billings, Montana. Again, Dan Swartz, a farmer from Ballantyne, Montana, and one of this year's participants here at the Montana and Wyoming Barley and Sugar Beet Symposium in Billings. Now these messages.
Well, we've got wet weather now. Indianapolis, around Champaign-Urbana, getting up toward the Quad Cities of Iowa, Des Moines, and on up into the eastern part of South Dakota, and southward toward parts of Kansas and Missouri, where the rain's been quite heavy around Jefferson City. This pulled out of Kansas City about an hour and a half ago, but later with the sunshine coming through, that will destabilize the atmosphere, and you can see cells.
Start your day out right with the Bauer Daily Market Letter, a must-read for the smart agribusiness investor.
We'll get you there. So much more than a tire store. Tire-Rama, the service never ends. The best tires for the Northwest. Tire-Rama, where you got a friend. Quality products, names you can trust. Tire-Rama, on us. Tire-Rama, Tire-Rama, we'll get you there.
Continuing our conversation this morning with my farmer friend Dan Swartz from Ballantyne, Montana, one of this year's participants at this year's Montana and Wyoming Barley and Sugar Beet Symposium here in Billings. Now, Dan, we were talking before the break about Roundup Ready technology, regardless if it's sugar beets or alfalfa. From a grower's perspective, how has this benefited your operation east of Billings?
Well, it's been a heck of a benefit. The new Roundup Ready beets, they got disease resistance in them. The genetics are just tremendous, and we can take care of the beets so much better. The fields are clean, and it's a wonderful technology, and I hope we can keep it as all producers. I hope we have it for this year.
And as you said before the break, as part of your rotation, you also grow malt barley for Miller Coors, which of course is huge out here in Montana, Wyoming, and Idaho and Colorado. Talk about that relationship you have with Miller Coors, and in turn their relationship back to you as the grower.
Yeah, Miller Coors has been a great company to work with. They've treated us as growers. They treat us well, and I like growing for them, as most of us do. And it's a great company, and good people working there. So really enjoy it.
And last but not least, as we talk about these very important irrigated crops in places like the Yellowstone Valley and others, I mean, these are huge economic drivers for not only you guys but local economies.
Yes, it is. The beets and the barley both. Like they've always said, if we can make money, we spend it. So everyone benefits if we have good prices in a good year. So it's great for the whole economy, I think.
Well, thanks a lot, Dan, for joining us on the program.
All right. Thanks, Russell.
All right, Dan Swartz, a farmer from Ballantyne, Montana. That's a look at your farm and ranch news for this morning. I'm Russell Nimitz, Northern Ag Network.